Hey everybody, it's Joy Packard. How are you guys doing? It's been some time since I have done a live video for you, so I thought I would check in and say hello, see how you were doing, and share with you a few thoughts that I've been having. And it's been a super fun time here in Houston. Came home to Houston for the weekend. I had an event on Saturday, and it was a Joe Dispersa event. It was amazing, and randomly came there, since I was here on Saturday. Ended up staying with my daughter. She's going to be leaving on a mission to Iloilo, Philippines in about, what's today? Probably about 6 or 7 days. So not too much longer, and she's going to be leaving. So, as I'm here in Houston, there's a lot of nostalgia, and a lot of things that go through my mind as I'm here. I see a lot of memories that are popping up as I'm here at my house, and I just have been reflecting. And, how many of you guys do a lot of reflecting? I know that for me, it's one of those things where I love being able to, I guess, remember all the different things that have happened, especially here. And so anyway, I love thinking also about a poem that I wrote several years ago. Whenever it was my son, he was like probably 18 months old. And it was a super hard time in my life. And I remember thinking that I was thinking to myself, I'll be happy when. And so I started to, write a poem, and I started thinking about, my life at that time whenever I had a couple of babies. And so I don't know about you, but sometimes whenever we're in our life, we think that it's always going to be better somewhere else, or our life is going to be better if it were different in some way. And so, as I look through my life of, raising my kids with over the last 31 years, I guess it is, I think that it's been something that I really need to write a song about. I think it's something that I need to write another poem about, or finish the poem. So anyway, as we're going through every single day and we have these experiences that are happening, it's like we go through these different experiences, and we're always wanting basically what we don't have. It's so interesting. It's like, okay, I have this red one, and now I want a blue one, and now I have the blue one, and now I want a black one. And it's like we're wanting what we don't have. And we always think that the grass is greener on the other side. And we always think that, life is better for this person because this is how it is. And, I think about that so much lately, especially lately, as we go through our different experiences. But every single experience that we have, it helps us to grow in some way, right? And every single experience that we have is something that happens, and then how can I put this? It's like it's something that we were probably asking for. Has that ever happened to you, to where you are thinking about, oh, I wish I had this, and then somehow that happened, and then suddenly you had what you were asking for, and then you ask for something else, and you think that it's going to always be better. And so it's such an interesting thought to me, because in that poem I was telling you about, that I was writing about one of my kids, I was thinking about it because in that poem I was thinking, okay, as we have a baby, we think it's going to be easier whenever they start crawling, and then when they start crawling, we think it's going to be easier when they start walking, and when they're walking, we think it's going to be easier when they start running, and so forth. And so like we go through these stages of life where we're always wanting more. And we're always wanting what we don't have. And we're also like never satisfied. And that thought has been on my mind lately, to where I wanted to share it with you, because we need to be more present. I went to this Joe Dispersa event on Saturday. And one of the things that he was talking about was how important it is to be present. And so, how many times I know that whenever my husband and I go out on a date, we try and put our phones down, right? Because, if you don't, then you're talking to each other and it becomes distracting when you start looking down at your phone. Suddenly that text becomes more than the person that's sitting across from you. And so super important to be present in the moment, to be living, the life that we're supposed to be living at that moment. And so I think that sometimes we forget, we have certain things happen. We have situations happen to where we are not happy, right? And then, like I say, we're wanting more and we're never satisfied. And how would it be if we were super happy with the life that, we have, right? And we're not always saying, oh, I wish I had a bigger house, or now I wish I had an apartment, and now I wish I had a yard, and now I don't want a yard. I just find it so interesting as, my kids are all growing up and they're all like growing up and moving away, or they're going on missions. Like one of my baby girls, she is going on her mission to the Philippines next week. And so I'm just trying to spend like extra time with her every single day. And it's interesting as I look at myself, and I look at myself whenever I am present, and I look at myself whenever I am rushing through life. And it's also interesting whenever I think about how, I think that I want something else than the life that I have, right? And and sometimes, like as entrepreneurs, which many of us are, many of you guys who are following me, you're in e-commerce or you're in some kind of entrepreneur type thing where you are doing whatever it is that you're wanting to do, and then you reach a specific status. It kind of makes me think about like, different stages, like network marketing, for example. Like when we reach the different, I'm not in network marketing, but like I think about the stages, like when you reach a stage and then you think, oh, I wish that I, can make the next stage, and then the next one and the next one. We're never satisfied with where we are. And so today I wanted to share that message with you on how important it is to be present, to be happy in the moments that we are living, on a day-to-day basis in our life, and, with our families, with our different things that we're trying to do, to be not wanting something that's on the other side. And anyway, I think that living, in the present, like I say, is such an important thing. Hey, Rob, how are you doing? And so my Shopify buddy. And so, I just think that it's just something that it's a thing that I've been contemplating for a while, over the last few weeks or so as I've been preparing for my daughter. And, sometimes we are just like so busy and we don't live in the present moment. I talked about a story the other day about, I think about that lady in Walmart, and as I'm just rushing through Walmart and doing all the different things that I'm doing. And then she says, hello, and, and then she stops me in my tracks. And then like, I'm actually like saying, wait, she's saying hello to me. And like, it makes me stop and realize that we are so busy spinning our wheels, and we're so busy trying to get to the next moment that we're not living in the moment. And so I think that has become my theme over the last 3 or 4 years, because, I lost my father 3 years ago. I lost my mother back in May of this year. And as I think about it, and like as I'm, in this house where my mom stayed with me for the last few months of her life, I think about these moments, and I think about all of those different things, and like how every day we wake up, we are given this gift. We are given this gift to live our life, right? And sometimes when we wake up, we're so busy trying to rush through the day for whatever reason that we don't enjoy the sunrise. I loved it. I went to a retreat in Cocoa Beach about a month ago or so, and I never really get up with the sunrise. I just don't. I like to sleep in. And those 2 days that I was at the retreat in Cocoa Beach, they woke us up so that we can do morning meditation. And to this very day, I still remember the feelings that I had of being able to watch the sunrise. Hi, Yvette. Yvette was there. And I loved it. You know, I woke up and we meditated on the beach, and I was able to enjoy that moment and be present. You know, I don't know how many of you guys meditate, but it takes some time, it takes effort to meditate, and we know how good it is for us, right? But for whatever reason we don't do it. And why? Because we are super rushed. We keep on rushing through our life. And for what? You know, we go through the day, and then we go through it all, and then we go to sleep, and we wake up and we do it all over again. And so for that, I just say, take a step back, you know, just take a step back. And from the moment that you wake up, you be thankful for another day, and you be thankful to be able to live another day and to spend it with your family, or spend it with your kids or your pets, or whatever it is that you're trying to do on a daily basis. And live your life, you know, like live your life to the fullest. And can you imagine if you lived your life every single day as if it were your last? How would it be? Because I know for me, like when I think about that, there was a talk in church one time, and they were talking about how would it be if every single day you woke up and you knew that it was going to be the last day of your life? And how would you act? You know, how would you be around your family? How would you be around people that you didn't know? You probably would tell people you would love them more. You probably would tell people thank you more. You would smile more. You would hug longer. You would just do things just knowing. I mean, I'm spending my last days with my daughter before she leaves on her mission. And like every time I get a chance to hug her or hold her hand or spend time with her, I'm doing it because, you know, you send your kids off on their missions and they come home and it's never the same. And you just go through your life with these moments that are like super important, you know, crossing points of just like when they're moving over to the next stage. That like her whole life has flashed before my eyes, like for the last 18 years of my life or her life, and like raising her and everything. And I'm just like, I hope that I taught her the right things, you know, and I hope that she's going to be safe, and all these things that just go through your mind. And I don't know, it's just super interesting to me how, you know, we go day in and day out for 365 days a year. And then sometimes we might have an event that happens, a birthday, a wedding, someone leaving on a mission, one of your kids graduating, you know, and then suddenly in that moment, we're enjoying that moment. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, what would it be like if we lived our days like that every single day? You know, like that song, that's a country song that talks about live like you were dying. And how would that be to live your life every single day like that? I mean, you would embrace life more. You would treat people nicer. You would live in the moment and be present. And that's the whole point of what I'm trying to say, because it's near and dear to my heart right now. And I wanted to share it with you because I think that we live in such a rushed world. And I think that, you know, we need to take a slower pace sometimes. You know, many of you who know me, I am a fast-paced person. But in the last 2 or 3 years, you have to admit, those who know me, I have started to slow down. You know, I've taken a step back, and I've enjoyed my kids and my grandkids. I take more trips. I sit on the beach more. I meditate. I stop, and I think more. And I just think that, you know, that is something that lacks in this world, because we're just so fast-paced. We're so rushed. We're so ready to get to whatever it is we're trying to get to, that we're living our moments in a fast-paced, rolling the wheel mode all the time. And it's sad. It's terrible. And so I just think that, you know, one of the reasons I wanted to share that with you is because maybe sometimes, like myself, I didn't realize that I was living my life like that. Yvette says we need to live every moment like it is the last day and make the best out of it. I completely agree 100%. And that is one woman right there who lives her life to every moment. I just love that. And hey, Rob, thank you so much. And so, yeah, I'm just feeling that message near and dear to my heart. And you guys know me, like when I have these messages, I love to share them. And so I'm getting closer and closer to securing my location for my retreat, retreatswithjoy.com. And these are the kind of things we're going to talk about. We're going to be doing meditation. We're going to be, you know, working on our health. We're going to be doing 90-day business plans. We're going to be doing a lot of cool biohack stuff that just helps you to learn how to become the best version of yourself. And so if you're not on the list, I'm only going to take like 15 to 20 people with me, and it's probably going to be next April or May. And I am so excited about it because I love being able to share, you know, some of the things like this video, even just sharing with you thoughts like this, because, you know, every single day I feel like we're all meant to do something here on this earth, and we don't need to just be sleeping through life. We don't need to just be like floating through life. I call it like this, you know, I tell my kids this all the time, like, don't just float through life. Like, you are meant to be here to do something. And so every single morning, and I'll let you go after this because this video is getting kind of long, but every single morning when you wake up, you should ask Heavenly Father and God, whatever it is who you call, and ask them what it is that you need to be doing today, you know? And maybe it's somebody that you have to touch their life, and, you know, maybe it's somebody that needs to be in your life to be touched. Because I know a lot of times for me, I have people show up in my life. Like in my life, my wheels are going like 1,000,000 miles an hour. I'll have somebody like that, like in Walmart or somebody or somewhere that I'm at, and then they just stop and they're like, whoa, 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 you look like you're in such a hurry, you know? And they'll stop and they'll start talking to me, and then I'll realize it's almost kind of like a great reminder for me to like look at myself for the day and say, okay, you know, I'm not being present. I'm not living in the moment, right? And so that's what I'm hoping for you guys today, is to be present, to live in the moment, to live every single moment like it's your last, and think about how that's going to impact you in so many ways, in the way that you speak, the way that you talk, the way that you interact with people that you run into, with your family. So I hope you're going to join me. I hope you follow me. I hope you get on the list, retreatswithjoy.com. I'm only going to bring 15 to 20 people with me to this amazing place to where we can do things like this, to where it's going to help us, help our mind, help our bodies. You know, it can help us to be basically someone in the world that can help make someone else, their life a little bit better. And you know, that's why I'm doing it. I know, of course, like, I really love to be able to interact with you guys here too, but like, I feel like people need to hear it, right? And people need to hear these kind of messages, because the world is so full of negative news, you know? And so I think that instead of like getting on here and listening to negativity, we can get on here and share positive things that, you know, share our love, share the things. And thank you, Yvette. I love and miss you. Well, I hope you're having an amazing night. I have some work that I need to get done, but I did have it in my heart to get on here to share with you how I feel in my heart, because I'll forget it. I'll forget, you know, what I was going to say. So you guys take care, have an amazing evening, and go be present. Go and, you know, start thinking about how you're going to live your life tomorrow for the better, and live it as if it were your last. So take care. Thanks for listening, taking time out of your busy night. I'll talk to you guys soon.